Hello everyone, thank you for joining us here at the Pūrwell Training Academy. My name is Josh Hoffman. I'm a clinical specialist here at Pūrwell, and today we are going to talk about tinctures, our products. Now, tinctures are very, very popular for a number of reasons. A, they're fairly fast acting. In other words, when people are evaluating a CBD product, two things to keep in mind are time to onset, meaning how long does it take to start working in the body, and then how long does it stay active in the body once it starts working. So those two things can sometimes point a person in the right direction. So going back to the tinctures, 15 to 30 minutes is all it takes to get into the bloodstream. But there's a specific way to take a tincture, folks. It's not on top of the tongue. It's not put it in your mouth and swallow it. It is deposited under the tongue. There's a sublingual gland there. And also through your mucosal membrane, it gets absorbed. How long do we want to hold it under the tongue before swallowing? We say 2 minutes. And the reason why we say 2 minutes is because if we say 2 minutes, we know most people will do it for about 30 seconds. But in reality, if you can hold it under your tongue for at least 60 seconds, 1 minute, is going to be very, very advantageous to you. Again, it takes about 15 to 30 minutes to get into the bloodstream. Once it's in the bloodstream, you can expect a window of activity between 3 to 6 hours, which isn't so bad. So sometimes people may take 2 doses per day. So on the low end, they get about 6 hours of coverage. On the high end, 12 hours of coverage. Now, why people and the tinctures are very popular is because you got a lot of flexibility when you take it. In other words, you can pull a quarter of oil up into the tube. You can go to half of a dropper. You can go to 3/4 of a dropper. You can go to a full dropper. In other words, you have a lot of control over the amount that you take. Now, that's going to lead us into a conversation that I'm not going to do a deep dive right now, but how do we know if what we're taking is enough? Your body's feedback is going to tell you. So if you're taking a tincture, let's say for anxiety, and we're taking this for about 5 days, and you're taking, let's say, a half of a dropper, and you don't really notice any improvement, that's your body's way of saying it's time to take a little more. How much more? Just another little quarter dropper. So you might go from the, half of a dropper to 3/4 of a dropper. You don't have to go from half a dropper to a full dropper. Let's use this like we're walking upstairs in short, small increments, because we can always take more. Now, our tinctures are formulated in different concentrations. We have a 500 milligram tincture, we have a 1,000 milligram tincture, we have a 1,500 milligram tincture, and a 2,000 milligram tincture. Now, a lot of people may say, boy, that's a lot of options. Why do you have so many tinctures? I'm always going to go back to the symptoms. How often do they present, and what's the level of severity? That's why we have different concentrations. Also, to be quite truthful, there are different price points. So for example, our 500 milligram formula retails at $49.99. It's a phenomenal price. Our 1,500 milligram formula retails at $150. So you can see different price points at different concentration levels. So different price points for people, different levels of concentration for people, so that we can meet different severities and levels of symptoms. That's what you're going to get out of the tinctures, and I think that most people feel like starting with tincture is a good way to go, but I always tell them there's no wrong way to do it. It's what's the best way to work for you, and sometimes that takes a little practice.